So next film here is Wonder Woman from 1973, another incredible shot in the Philippines film. This film is from our friend director Robert Vincent O'Neill, who is here in the audience tonight. We had Bob here a couple of years ago, I think it was, and we showed his film, The Psycho Lover. The print we have is kind of faded, so if you get a chance to see that film on DVD, check it out, because the use of color in The Psycho Lover is incredible. The print we showed was all red, so it was missing some of that. But Bob worked on some great stuff. I mean, early on in his career, he was working on the crew for a lot of films like Richard Rush's Savage 7 and Psych Out. I believe, according to his IMDb, he worked on Easy Rider and Count Yorga Vampire also. After that, he started directing films. He did a film, Blood Mania. He did the film The Psycho Lover. He did Wonder Woman. He did the film Paco with Jose Ferrer. And then he's probably best known for, in the 80s, he did the film Angel and its sequel, Avenging Angel. Many of you remember his Angel film. That was incredible. I think it was high school honor student by day, Hollywood hooker by night was the tagline. So, incredibly entertaining film, and hopefully we'll be screening that here at some point in the future. We'll have Bob back again. And Bob also wrote the incredible Vice Squad, which we've shown the trailer for a number of times here. He was also the writer of Vice Squad. So he's worked on a lot of great films, and we're very pleased to have him here tonight. We've also got almost the entire cast of Wonder Woman here tonight. We've got star Nancy Kwan in the audience, so please. Just to mention a few things, Nancy did The World of Susie Wong, she did the Flower Drum Song, classic film. She did The Wrecking Crew, which was a Matt Helm film with Dean Martin. She did Night Creature, she's in Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, she did a lot of TV work. Very pleased to have you here tonight. Also, we have her co-star, Ross Hagen, who is in the audience also. Big hand for Ross. Again, long list of credits. He's also in Night Creature with Nancy. He's in Angel. He did a ton of TV work going back to the 1960s. He's in The Miniskirt Mob with Sherry Jackson and Jeremy Slate. He's in Super Cock, which is about cockfighting, not as much as you think it is. Directed by Gus Draconis, and the director of Super Cock should be here in a couple of weeks when we show his film, The Swinging Barmaids. He's also still making his own films too. I know a couple of years ago he did a film called Murder on the Yellow Brick Road, which Nancy is also in, and our pal Skippy Lowe, I believe, is in it also. And that was, I believe, shot by the late Gary Graber, who was also a real supporter of this theater too, and this is actually Gary's PA we're using tonight, so a hand for Gary Graber too. We also have here our friend Sid Haig. Probably don't have to introduce Sid, but just for those of you who may be on a different planet and have no clue who Sid is, Sid's in a ton of classic films. A lot of them he worked on with Jack Hill, going back to things like Spider Baby, Pit Stop, The Big Dollhouse, Black Mama, White Mama, Coffee, The Big Birdcage, Beyond Atlantis, Foxy Brown, Savage Sisters, Galaxy of Terror, Graydon Clark's Lambada, The Forbidden Dance, a real favorite. And also, of course, most recently, Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects. And he was also a regular on Jason of Star Command. Those of us are old enough to remember Jason of Star Command in the post-Star Wars era. Also here tonight, we have Roberta Collins, also from the cast of Wonder Woman. Roberta in the audience. Roberta worked on a lot of the same films in the Philippines that Sid worked on, things like The Big Dollhouse. She worked Women in Cages, Unholy Rollers, roller derby film, which we hope to screen at some point. Caged Heat, Death Race 2000, Toby Hooper's Eaten Alive. You know, incredible list of credits, and very pleased to have her here tonight also. We also have from Wonder Woman, we have the stunt coordinator Eric Cord, who like a lot of other people here did work with Al Adamson also. Eric worked on Al's Angels, Wild Women along with Ross. He also was the stunt coordinator with stunt work on classic films, things like Superfly, Hammer, Super Chick, I think the trailer for that was shown here a couple of weeks ago. That Man Bolt, Black Samson, Girls for Rent, the 77, Island of Dr. Moreau, the Beastmaster, with Mark Singer, I think was in that one. He's also was a stunt coordinator in Return of the Living Dead with our friend Clue, who's not here tonight, but usually Clue is in that seat right there. You're in Clue's seat tonight. Incredible. And also Maniac Cop 2, Bill Lustig's Maniac Cop 2 that we showed you a couple of weeks ago. Now, a lot of these guys have worked on a lot of bigger, mainstream, large budget films, but at these screenings we tend to point out the cult items. So these guys have a lot of great credits. I'm pointing out the alternate Bizarro World top credits for these guys. And also in the audience too tonight, she's only in Wonder Woman, I think a brief part, but also Marilyn Joy is in the audience too. So please have a hand for Marilyn. Marilyn's in the film for Range and from Hammer, Hitman. She was in a number of films with Al Adamson, Blazing Stewardesses, Black Samurai, Nurse Sherry. She's also in Mansion of the Doomed, Ilsum, Harem Keep the Oil Sheiks. And in Kentucky Fried Movie, she was Cleopatra Schwartz also. A classic scene in that. So we've got a great lineup of people in this film, both in front of and behind the camera. It's going to be a lot of fun. You know, I've wanted to show this film for a couple of years. We were planning to do it as one of our regular monthly Grindhouse Film Festival events, and then Quentin picked it for his 2-month fest, so I couldn't pass up the opportunity to have all these great people come down as we normally would have done at one of our regular events. So please welcome Robert Vincent O'Neill, Nancy Kwan, Ross Hagen, Roberta Collins, Sid Haig, and Eric Ford.
Thank you, Glenn. All right, here we are. The one thing I can tell you is that we had a terrific time making this picture. It was just fun from the word go. Probably the most enjoyable picture I've ever done. And we went nuts over there. One of the distributor cautioned. Now this is a picture about a woman who perfects an anti-rejection serum that makes it possible to transplant any part of a human body to any other human body. You carry that to an extreme, and now you're talking brain transplants. Well, in 1972, that was pure science fiction. I don't think it's true anymore. I mean, this is a possibility within the next, 20, 30 years or so. So, at any rate, the distributors thought that this was a very serious film. And they cautioned Ross and I to take this film seriously. Well, we threw out treatment when we got there because there was nobody else to tell us that we couldn't. And we sat down and wrote what you're going to see tonight. We had a great time doing it. Here, I'll let Ross talk a little bit about it here.
Yeah, you don't want to see my sonoscope? Let's have a little brain sex, maybe.
Give the picture away.
Brain sex. That's just a tease. Come on. She normally does all the talking. Can you believe it, Norbert? Nancy's not talking.
Yeah, you can't shut her up.
No, Ross always does all the talking.
Anyway, it's really weird to sit in an audience and have a film behind you that you made 30 years ago and actually can see the audience. Because when you're up there, of course, we never have this experience. It's almost like being on stage. And it's kind of weird and frightening. You're sitting here going, what? And you think that a film has died, and these things have this life. It's like the film keeps alive. It keeps coming back for more. And with IMDb, is that what it's called? We can't even get rid of our bad credits. We can't hide our age. We're screwed. The internet has screwed us. Here's Bobby.
Hi. I want to see the film. We had a great time, and I had a lot of fun with Nancy in Hong Kong when it was over with. And I had a lot of fun. Even when I wasn't working on the film. Anyway, here's Sid. Oh, wait a minute. He gets an introduction.
We met Sid Haig in Manila.
That's right.
Ross and I did. And the character that he plays in this picture did not exist until we met him. And it wrote itself. It was incredible what it did. I took one look at him and we knew we had this character, and you'll see it in the film. One other thing I want to say about Cord. Cord did all of the stunt driving in this picture. He was our stunt coordinator. And you're going to see a scene in there in a chase where he hits a security cop in the middle of an intersection. And that was for real. The guy was so stoned, he just got up, brushed himself off, hit another joint and went back to work. Anyway, here's Sid now.
Hello. Well, I had been in the Philippines for a very long time before these guys showed up. And I was sitting in the Cheeky Coffee Lounge at the Pan Am Hotel.
No, Intercon.
Intercon Hotel.
We help him out.
Yes, in Makati, in the Philippines. And these these guys came in and they were kind of looking around like, whoa, this is cool. And I found out that the hotel that they were staying in was a real sleaze bag. I mean, Bob was writing the script and the drapes that were on the wall fell on him as he was writing. And he just kind of pushed them aside and just kept writing. Okay. I was ready to leave, and they said, no, I don't think you're going anywhere.
This is your fourth one in a row.
Yes, this is my fourth film in a row that I had done there. And I was becoming very Filipino. And I was becoming very oriented to the jungle.
Very
Actually, yes, I was very mañana. Not even that. In the Philippines, there's like 8 days in a week. The 7th that we know about, and then the 8th one that can fall in between any one of those 7 at any given time. Okay, but we got a lot of great work done. Pam Grier and I were having breakfast in the coffee shop one morning, and there was a little fair, a little carnival thing set up in the parking lot, and the wind kind of came up, and the baskets from the Ferris wheel were kind of doing this thing, okay? And I go, wow, it's really blowing out there. All of a sudden, one of the baskets just stayed like that, and the whole Ferris wheel started shaking, and it broke loose and tumbled across the parking lot, taking out cars, crashed into the side of a supermarket, and we said, oh, cool. 40 days later, it stopped raining, okay? They had to rewrite scenes so that we could shoot inside the hotel. We gathered up plants from every corner of the hotel and did exteriors in the interior. Hey, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do.
We ground it out.
Yeah, that's it.